How's it going, guys? It is MetaGames, aka Chris, and this is going to be my updated TEARLAMENTS deck profile for the December 2022 format. Now, I'm making a quick update because I found some better video settings, and also I've done a lot of changes to the deck that I'm more proud of. Some more spicier text. We removed some of the old stuff, and we really thought more into the side deck, and now I'm going to have side patterns in this video, plus some test hands. So this will be a really comprehensive deck profile, and this is kind of the format that I want to move the channel in towards. So I'll have like a Satellar Knight deck profile and a Crystal Beast deck profile coming up, among other deck profiles. So for now, we're going to be working on my TEARLAMENTS, and we'll start with the main deck. This is a 41 card main deck. I was going between 40 and 41, and that's just kind of why I ended on. So for the TEARLAMENT engine, we have 2 Merly, 2 Rhino Heart, and then 3 Shiren, and 3 Havness. So yeah, those are pretty standard, honestly. Outside the 2 Rhino Heart and 2 Merly, I prefer 2 Rhino Heart, 2 Merly because they get really cloggy when they're at 3 each, or even like 3 of 1. You really want to just be milling them than anything else. So, or just have like 1 in your hand for the Kakalo so you can search a trap instead. But usually you can get around that and do it through other ways. So this is just kind of the ratios I'm running, and it works for me. I mean, I'd love to maybe run a 3rd Merly, honestly, but that's something to be considered for the future. So here's the Ishizu engine. It's 3 Mudora, 3 Keldo, the best one, and 1 Agado, 3 Kelbeck. So Agado is really good because you have the play where you'll basically have a Keldo, send Kelbeck, or, well, hopefully you have a Kelbeck or you search the Kelbeck, and then you end up pitching the Kelbeck, and then you can special summon this guy from your hand and special summon one of the pitched Ishizu cards. So that's an extremely strong combo in my opinion, and plus I like having the mill 10. You can't have the mill 10 without running all the at least one of him. So I don't like not running one. Now we're getting into the Bestials. This is the Bestial engine I settled on. 3 Magnamut, 2 Druid Swarm, and 1 Saronir. So I'd love to run more, but they get extremely cloggy at more, and even at 6, I'm just like, I don't want to see a hand of 2 Bestials most of the time. I mean, like, it sucks when I see 2 Magnamut, but if I see 2, like 1 of each, that's actually usually really good. But you don't want to see more than that, because then you'll just get brick hands. You don't want to see it all the time. So I think 6 is just the perfect ratio on the main deck for a locals format. If I was going to a YCS, or if I was going to a regionals, I would be running 3 of each in the main deck, honestly. So, take that for what you will. This is just what I'm doing as of right now, but, when I go to the regional, I will probably be running 3 of each, just because that will mainly be what I'm seeing. However, I am seeing the upsides to running less Bestials in the main. So spell cards, 1-ofs, Terraforming, Instant Fusion, best cards in the deck. Triple Tactics Talents, this is another new addition to the deck. It's giving me some room in the side deck since I am running less Bestials in the main. So this is just incredible, this format. Every deck is running Bestials, or just like some sort of hand trap. So Triple Tactics is just incredible. So, this is an MVP card, and I'm going to keep it in my deck as long as this format goes. I feel like 1 Heartbeat, this card is incredible. I wish I could run 3, but it's also an engine card, so like most of the time, like if you're not going as back row decks, you can use it as a card to recycle one of your traps in the graveyard that you mill. That's why you don't side it out against like non-spell and trap card decks, because you still want that if you're going first at least. And then 3 Prime, pretty good card. Yeah, pretty good card. It's probably gonna go 1. 2 Scream. Yeah, this is a great card, but as someone told me, it's a luxury almost to have it in your hand. So like you want to be really sending it. Sometimes you search off of kit, honestly, if you're feeling like you have the nuts, and you're able to recycle your traps. And that's why we run Beatrice. So Scream's very strong in the mirror match. You want to see this card in that mirror match. And here's the newest edition, 3 mass change. So 3 mass change is quite good. It doesn't send for cost. So you basically like have a dead hand. Okay, like let's just say you have a 1 tearlament and like 1 ishizu mill 5 that you can't get in the graveyard, and you have a mass change. You like normal summon the Havness, mass change, discard Kelback, you mill 5 and fuse. You're just off to the races with a Dark Law. It's incredible of a card. Like, I don't want to run too many Bystials because of this, because like these don't go with the Bystials. You can't mass change a Bystial, but you kind of need it. So I think this is a perfect. This card's incredible and wins free wins, especially at locals. So, you know, going into a regional, however, I might change it up, but honestly, I think it's still a great card. Against like most decks, even outside of a ishizu tier. So here's the Spell and Trap, Solic Crime. I kind of want to go Crime side deck, but like I don't have the side deck room for it. And it's just so good going first. However, this card's more or less like really good for just evenly matched, so like that's why. But also, it's kind of decent for recycling your Kikalos. I mean, it doesn't come up often at all. Solic's incredible. You'll always just like end up searching it and then like recycling it. It's really great. So it would probably be 2 Solic if I had to cut the Crime, but maybe not. Maybe I just like cut the and keep the just run one trap. So extra deck, the 3 standard tiers, nothing really to say. You want to end on a board with these 2 guys basically, plus Link or Exceed, plus back row and hand traps. Like, they're incredible cards. If you want to see more on that, search just combo videos or just watch the hand videos I'm about to watch. I heard the test hand I'm about to play for you guys. So here are the other fusions: Mud Dragon, Stapelia, Garuda. You have to run them. Like, I don't love this card because you don't ever play it first turn, honestly, unless they fuck up, like, unless they do something to you pretty bad. Like, Stapelia is always coming out on your opponent's turn, basically. And the Garuda is incredible because you always rank off with it for Beatrice, and it gives you a +1. So, and then Mud Dragon's pretty good for the Mud Dragon locks, or just another instant fusion target. Here's the Dark Law. Card's incredible. You don't need more than 1. You get free wins. You can even rank 6 Link after you banish out of their hand or something. Like, if you think you're safe to get rid of their banish out of their graveyard. But that's like why it's so good, because you can banish all your opponent's cards go with banish. So it's basically like a walking, talking D-shifter, which is also good against like Sprite. Like it's very good against other decks. So. Besides just a ishizu tier, but this is an auto win going first against a ishizu tier. Especially if you have Pearl Reno, because then he'll be at 2,900 instead of the 24 that they can crash. That's why also it's pretty viable in this deck, because you want to have it with a Pearl or a Scream so they don't crash with a Bystial. And then Exceeds, Abyss Dweller, Boguska. I really want to run a Time Thief, but like with how I'm running this deck right now, there's no room for it. You'll see why. 1 Beatrice. I do it over Wallow. I think Beatrice is way better going first than Wallow. I hate Wallow going first. And sometimes Wallow doesn't come up. Beatrice is always good because you can have like a board with a Sprite Elf, keep 2 materials, then fuse, then pop, or just like, like even if she is extra at the end, because sometimes that happens where like you don't even have to send the turn you summon her. If you're going first, you'll just have a Sprite Sprint so you can pop, detach, and then next turn detach, fuse. It's very good. And then also she's just good for cleaning up combos, so like if you need traps out of your graveyard. So the standard like monsters, I'd love to be running Dark, but like I'm just getting into scenarios where Dark is not good. Every time I'll summon a Dark, I basically get a Shizu out of the graveyard or whatever, just like Bestial, whatever it might be. So I'm not Dark seems kind of like a waste of time, at least in this build. Spray Elf Sprint, just some of the best cards in the deck. I joke that we use Sprite cards better than the Sprite deck uses the Sprite links. So here's my new interesting package: IP Masquerena, Underworld Goddess, and Averamax. So I feel like this really is underrated right now in a lot of the builds, because IP Masquerade is so easy to make a lot of the time, because if you want to end on a Sprite Elf, you can kind of just get so many extra non-links. or just like you'd even use your normal summon that turn and then just like end with an IP with a Sprite Elf, special summon with your Sprite Elf, and then IP with your Sprite Elf that on your opponent's turn. It's like into whatever you want to do, and then you'll still have your board backed up. That's why it's really interesting. I've been testing with it, and I mean, maybe I could cut Underworld, but I like the flexibility, because if I just have this, then this could be dead, and that's like a waste of space. This would always be live with an IP Masquerena. So now that was the extra deck, and now we are going to the side deck, and we will do side patterns and test hands right after. So 3 Twin Twister. This was extremely hard to make. So Twin Twister is kind of weird because like Mystic Mine isn't a thing anymore, and Necro Valley is definitely like almost as good against Tears. And I think this is really good against Flounder, and I don't want to run Zombie World either, so I'm kind of like doing a deck that works against a little bit of everything, since I'm playing out locals with like 0 Flounder players. 1 Triple Tactics Talents, it's, you know, you gotta have the 3. Like, it's so good against basically any deck that plays Bystials on first or going second. Like, some people say it's only good going first against like ishizu or whatever, but it's like really good going against like extremely good going against second against Sprite and ishizu. So 3 Droplet. This card is just so good. Like, you can set first turn against Sprite and do disrupts, or you could go second, do 1-for-1s against a lot of decks, or you can fuck up a board of Flounder. It's just really good. You can also like play in time with it. That's why like I'm not running a scatter shot. And you know, if you kind of rush time, just Droplet, crash for damage, you might be able to win off of that. I'm trying to figure out the time dilemma. It's just that as the format seems to be progressing, a lot of people are learning the deck, so like games aren't always going to time as you'd think. So I mean, it's gonna be something I'm gonna have to deal with. 3 Raigeki. This is for the established boards going second. I think it's the best option. I don't think you need Darkhold anymore because Mystic Mine isn't a thing. And this is a better option than Lightning Vortex if you're already running the Twin Twist or the Lightning Storm, in my opinion at least, because you can use it when you have cards on the field. And a lot of the times within like even the mirror match, they'll establish more monsters. I'm not saying decide this in the mirror match, but this is mainly for like Sprite and Flounder. So 3 Ghost Bell, and this is for basically the Bystial sides, or the mirror match going second sides, even going first against, you know, against Sprite or ishizu tier, because you can get their Bystials with this. And then just I'm not running the third Saronir. Maybe I'd run a third Saronir in the future so I could have the complete 9. That's why I was thinking about maybe running 42 cards. I don't think it would be horrible, to be honest, but I do like the consistency. I was really liking 40 cards, and I would love to get the deck back to 40 cards. That's kind of like where I'm at with it. You know, I'm trying to be open with it. Now we're going to get into test hands, and we're going to go into also the side pattern, and then we'll get into conclusion. So let's go. All right, now we are deck testing, and we'll do 2 test hands, and then we will get into the sideboard. So these will be opening turn 1 hands, basically. So this is quite a good hand since we opened Solix, so we won't have to necessarily search it off of kit. So, Terraforming. That hand's also interesting because there's a few lockouts that, like, you know, as long as you get the kit out, like, even if they affect Valor, I still have the Solic, so that's a good hand for that reason. So now what do we have? We have a Mill 5 and a Solic. So, and then also a Magnum that we could probably, you know, summon off of either of our graveyards. So I'm going to special summon Mudora by pitching Kelbeck. Mudora's not going to get his effect, but then Kelbeck is going to Mill 5 for both decks. And it looks like we already got 2 names plus a Kelbeck, or a Keldo. So in this situation, I almost recommend doing both, but the problem is we don't have enough targets. I recommend doing both because if they Bystial you, then it's not too bad. So we're just gonna have this right here. We're gonna pretend like we don't get Bystialed. Even if we do get Bystialed, I mean, we get Keldo on the Havness. And for that reason, maybe you should always do both here. I'm just gonna say in this scenario, I'm just gonna call Havness. special summon Kit. We also have Pearl up, so this is going to be a very interesting pivot or PowerPoint. So Kit is now going to search. I could search the trap, but we still have it in our deck that we could search off a Scream. So I'm thinking we take the Merly and actually get some real mills in here, since we've only declared Halfness. And now Kit Close is going to activate her effect to target itself, and then send it to the graveyard after Merly's summon. And then they're going to both mill 8, 5 off of Kit, and then 3 off of Merly. Okay. Interesting. So now we got a Scream. So we can search this. We're going to have to go into Sprite Sprint already, which is not always the best, but it happens. Then we're going to use Sprint Effect to send Merly. And Merly's going to use its effect to fuse. For the Rulicalis. And honestly, what we could do here in this scenario, since I've already played through it, is we put the Soliac right here, and then when the cards get shuffled back, we're going to Pearl, Soliac, Rhino. Since we haven't gotten our normal summon. Rhino Heart, send our last name, Sharon, and then fuse with the Merly engrave for Garuda. This is how we kind of play through a bad hand, honestly. Not like a not optimal hand. By using Pearl. Like, it's really hard to have a bad hand with Pearl, so then we'll just banish our one Misted, special summon Magma effect at the end of the turn. And what I would love to do here, I mean, honestly, yeah, I mean, maybe I should have gone to, no, I couldn't have done that. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is do this. And then use her effect to send Garuda to send our Heartbeat. And then we're going to chain 2 Heartbeat, chain 1 Garuda, Heartbeat, get the Solic back, then draw 1. And wow, there we go. Got Mass Change 2, which we can actually use next turn. And we also have... you can set all 3 and then end of the phase, get Magnemut, and then we'll have a target for Crime or Mass Change. And then on the on the opponent's turn, you can just literally Magnemut or Beatrice off the bat, send a Shiren, and then just start fusing for a. This would be on your opponent's turn, of course. And start fusing for the next Kit, and then Kit will then get you, just basically get you a Stapelia off of that by sending Havness, and then Havness Garuda, and while you still have the Magnemut in hand, and these are your set cards, obviously, you have a Stapelia, and now you have a live Kit Colosse that you could mass change into a Dark Law by discarding Magnemut, and then he'll mill 5. So let's just see this. And we got our last name. And we could summon a, yeah, why not? We'll just do it for fucksies. And then we have a live Solic. And then we could send off a Kaleido Heart, Scream, and Recycle so that I have a card to use for crime. So yeah, that hand actually ended up being really good, and it was really only saved off the Februrary, to be honest. And I kind of misplayed, but like you guys saw in any situation, you know, that I would have been thinking of, I would have set the Solic to Pearl, and then my whole engine went off from there. It was kind of crazy. So that's the first test hand. We're happy about that. Alright, so now we're going to do the next hand. I did just shuffle, I just had to cut for some reason. So, okay, this is an interesting hand. We have a Merly, a Crime, and a Februrary. So we're obviously going to Februrary and search out a... Could get a Havness. I think Shiren's the play here, so we could just get Mudora in the graveyard. And then maybe we can mill a Rhino and pitch the Merly. So Shiren, then we're going to mill 3. Very interesting. We're going to Solic, obviously. Guess we'll get the Havness that way. I always like eventually searching a Havness just so I could have it when I have the rest of the Tearlaments for the opponent's turn. So we're gonna obviously want to send a Heartbeat to the graveyard at some point. Maybe like off of the what's it called? Off of the Kikalos. So we're just gonna send a Havness. I go for Havness or Shiren. I've heard different like things, but I typically go for Merly last just because that's usually my Sprite Sprint target. We're going to use Kit's Effect. We are going to send the Heartbeat now just so we can get that over with. Then we already actually have a pretty beefy field, all things considered. And now we're going to use Kit's Effect to special summon Merly, and then mill 8. The famous mill 8. This was over here, technically. Oh, okay, so we got some names. So we already used so we're going to definitely use Shiren, and then we're going to use Saronir. I like sending Saronir because if you send the Druid Swarm, like, you're only going to get plus because you'll get the Druid Swarm's effect. So it's good for thinning out the deck. So Shiren effect, Kikalos. Back to the extra deck. Put her right here for Sprite Sprint spot, possibly. And then Saronir. And then we are going to mill 5. Okay, so this is where it's kind of nice because now I can Sprite Sprint into the last fusion. We're obviously going to be looking for Kaleido Heart. So we are going to just link off here. No really other reason not to. Is activate Sprite Elf. And then we're going to use Sprite Elf's effect to bring back Merly. Oh yeah, we're going to put Sprite Elf right here. Bring back Merly right there. Then we're going to normal to Havness. And then we're going to link off with Havness and use Sprite Sprint. And then Sprite Sprint's effect to send Merly. And now we're going to have a Sprite Elf target for next turn. I kind of prefer that over the Havness because I don't have to rely on Havness. At least in turn 1, I think having a Sprite Elf live is better than having the Havness. So now we're going to send back and still have a target. And if we wanted to, we could Kaleido Heart Februrary pop. Don't think there's anything to do really right now in our deck to Februrary pop. I mean, we could actually use, send Rhino Heart if we wanted to. That's an interesting one. I don't think I would send Rhino Heart, and what sucks is I can't go into IP right now. could go into Crusadia Averamax, to be honest. Can't go into that, sadly, but that's fine, because then we're going to set 2. And we probably should, honestly... Yeah, no, we're just going to set 2. And that will be the turn. I think that's probably the correct play. Maybe not. I would have preferred to get another hand with mass change, but a lot of these, I mean, in the Averamax combo, I mean, you could theoretically put the, but that's not good. So yeah, that will be the test hands. Now we're going to go to the sideboard. All right, so now we're going to be doing the side patterns for several different of the matchups. We're going to do Sprite, we're going to do Flunder, we're going to do Flunder / Exo Sister. It's a lot of the same matchups, and obviously the mirror match. So, because those are the most popular decks right now. I mean, we could do Dragon Link and Pendulum. I just don't think they come up enough. So, I have the deck kind of split into different cores of the deck, like the Bestials, ishizu stuff, just because that's, you know, you're going to be siding out certain things. So, we're going to go with the Sprite matchup. Sprite going first is a very interesting matchup because you already main deck 2 talents, and you kind of want 3 talents for that. In my honest opinion. So it will be the sided cards will be down here. We're going to side in 3 talents. And then what you could do too is even do a Ghost Bell, just because this was recommended by Hani Johari. Because, you know, if you get Bestial, they're going to be running a ton of Bestials. So it's just like even 1 is just fine. Maybe even a Droplet, but honestly, it just depends. Like, this would be my sideboard against them going first. Now, the cards I'd side out, it definitely would be the Bestials for the most part. You won't need a lot of them. You can go down to probably just 4 Bestials and just take out the Droplet and just do those. And then going second against... is a lot different. So we're going to be probably still running Triple Tactics 3 because, I mean, we're going to side in the 1. And then we're going to put in 3 Raigeki because 3 Raigeki, it's good for 1-for-1s because they have a lot of negates. You can bait out the Toad, you can do a lot of different things. And also, I like it better than Storm because you can have cards on the field. So this is very good card just to get rid of problematic boards, to kind of unclog those boards. I'd say what else? I mean, it really depends. Let's see. I mean, oh yeah, droplets. Definitely 3 droplets. Definitely 3 droplets. So yeah, you're going to be signing about 7 cards in. And even the Ghost Spells could work. 2 Ghost Spells would be fine. I think. And then you'll want to sign up all your Bestials, but you want the Magnum Mutts, so you probably take out these 2. And then you're going to be signing out the mass changes because you really don't need them in that matchup. You're going to be signing out the crime since you're going second. You could genuinely probably side out the Agado too. There are 2 Screams, so we could get rid of 1. So we have 9 cards, so we have 7. We gotta find 2 more. So yeah, we'll probably just end up doing the 1 Agado, and then we will just drop it down to 1 Ghost Spell. So yeah, that would be the side pattern against Sprite going first and second. Okay, now we're gonna move on to Flunderies going first and second. So Flunder going first, you're probably just gonna side your 3 droplets. This card's nutty against the monsters that they summon. You might even want to get a Ghost Spell, to be honest, in there. And then a Twin Twister, or 2. I just think the draw... I mean, this deck really doesn't have any issues going first against them. So you would basically just end up siding out 3 Bistids, put in the droplets, you're good to go, maybe even a Bell. Then going second is... it's going to be similar, actually, to the Sprite matchup more than you think. We're just going to do 3 droplets. 2 Raigekis, and actually it's probably just these 3. Twin Twister, and then also I would say it's probably gonna be through Raigeki. And then we would side out 2 tactics, because that's not going to be used. 1 crime, obviously, an Agado, and then we are going to side out basically all the Bestials besides these 3. And that will equal, we'll just do 2 Bestials, yeah. So 2 Bestials and then 1 Scream. Actually, I would say we keep the Agado, and then honestly, you could side out the mass changes too in that matchup. It's really up to you. So now that we did the going first and second against Flunderies, we are going to go to the mirror match. So the mirror match, we're going to start going second mirror match because it's very simple. You side in 3 bells, you side in your Bestials, and then you hope you draw any combination of them. Now, you probably get rid of a Scream. You probably get rid of, you keep, also then you do a Tactics, because there's definitely going to be effects being used. Actually, I would say probably just the 2 Tactics might just be fine, to be honest. Also, the Droplets might just be fine, to be honest. So, we'll put in 2 Droplets in that. And then we end up siding out 3 mass change just because we need the room, honestly. We're siding out 3 mass change. And we're going to side out an Agado since we don't need it in the mirror match. You honestly could frickin' side out a Kelbeck too. Why not? Because it's just a brick in the mirror. And then Crime. So those are the cards you side out going second against the mirror match. Now, in the going first match, your deck is actually already pretty good. However, I would definitely side in the Tactics, and I would side in still the Saronniers. I would side in the Bells, just because the if you have the Bell, you'll be able to. I'll probably just do 2 Bells going first. You will be able to get rid of their shufflers, so even if you mill on their turn, it's fine. Obviously you could build a Beast Dweller. The Droplets also could go in, 2 Droplets, honestly, because then you can plus off of some of them. So yeah, those are all your options for the side pattern for the deck. So that will be the conclusion of here. That will be the conclusion to our new Tearlaments deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed the new format. We are basically going to be doing this from now on. There will always be a few test hands, plus the side pattern, because I've seen a lot of people just want that in general, since not a lot of people do that. I'm also going to post some duels of this deck throughout the week. It might be through locals or Dueling Nexus. So if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and comment below. What do you guys think? Do you guys miss the diviners in the deck? Do you think the mass changes are correct? And where do you guys see this format going in regards to Tearlaments? I know Kashchira and Hypernova is really going to set things off in terms of the meta. So really looking forward to things and how things develop. So if you want to stick around, like and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day.